In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most beautiful and emotionally powerful animated films ever made, Your Name. Directed by Makoto Shinkai, this story blends romance, mystery, time travel, and fate into a breathtaking experience. At first glance, it seems like a simple body swap story, but as we go deeper, it becomes something much more. A story about connection, memory, and the invisible threads that tie people together across time and space. Let's break it down. We begin by meeting two teenagers living completely different lives. First, there's Mitsuha Miyamizu, a high school girl living in the quiet rural town of Itomori. She feels trapped in her small town life, bored of traditions and frustrated with her strict family, especially her grandmother and her father, who is the town's mayor. Mitsuha dreams of escaping to Tokyo. In fact, she often says, "I wish I could be a handsome Tokyo boy in my next life." Then we meet Taki Tachibana, a high school boy living in bustling Tokyo. He balances school, a part-time job at an Italian restaurant, and his crush on his coworker, Miss Okudera. His life is fast-paced, modern, and completely different from Mitsuha's. One day, something strange happens. Mitsuha wakes up in Taki's body. At first, both of them are confused and disoriented. They think it's just a dream, but when it keeps happening, randomly switching bodies, they realize something supernatural is going on. As the body swaps continue, Mitsuha and Taki begin leaving notes for each other, on their phones, notebooks, and even on their skin. They set rules. Don't mess up each other's lives. Don't spend too much money. Leave clear notes about what happened. Through these exchanges, they slowly begin to understand each other's worlds. Mitsuha, in Taki's body, improves his social life, gets closer to Okudera, and even impresses people at work. Meanwhile, Taki, in Mitsuha's body, becomes more assertive and confident, surprising her friends and family. Over time, something deeper develops. They begin to care about each other. Even though they've never actually met, they form a bond, a connection that feels real. As the story progresses, we start seeing hints that something isn't quite right. Mitsuha's town, Itomori, has a strong connection to tradition and spirituality. Her family are shrine maidens, and her grandmother speaks about musubi, the idea that time, people, and connections are all tied together like threads. We also learn about a comet that is expected to pass near Earth, a once-in-a-lifetime event. Meanwhile, Taki begins to feel increasingly desperate to meet Mitsuha in person. He starts sketching the town he sees in his dreams, trying to figure out where she lives. Then, suddenly, the body swaps stop. No warning, no explanation, and even stranger, their memories of each other begin to fade. Determined to find Mitsuha, Taki goes on a journey with his friends to locate Itomori using his sketches. Eventually, they find it, but what they discover is devastating. Itomori doesn't exist anymore. 3 years ago, the comet split into fragments, and one of them struck the town, destroying it completely and killing hundreds of people, including Mitsuha. Taki is in shock. The girl he's been connecting with has been dead this entire time. This is the film's biggest twist. They weren't just separated by distance, they were separated by time. Taki had been swapping bodies with Mitsuha from 3 years in the past. Refusing to accept this, Taki returns to the shrine where Mitsuha's family performs rituals. There, he drinks Kuchi Kamizake, a sacred sake Mitsuha made earlier in the story. This allows him to reconnect with her, traveling back into her body on the day of the comet's impact. Now, in Mitsuha body, Taki tries to save the town. He convinces her friends to help him create a plan, evacuate the town under the pretense of an emergency, trick the authorities, get everyone to safety before the comet hits. Meanwhile, Mitsuha, now back in her own body, regains awareness of Taki. They realize they have one last chance to meet at twilight, a moment called Kataware Doki, where worlds briefly overlap. At sunset, on a mountain overlooking the town, Taki and Mitsuha finally meet, in person. It's a magical, emotional moment. They can see each other, talk to each other, touch each other, but they know it won't last. As the sun sets, the connection begins to fade. Desperate not to forget, Taki suggests they write their names on each other's hands. Mitsuha writes something on Taki's hand, but before he can write his name, she disappears. When Taki looks at his hand, instead of a name, she wrote, "I love you." After this moment, both of them begin to forget everything again. Their memories of each other slip away completely, but somehow the feeling remains, a sense that they've lost something important, something irreplaceable. Mitsuha successfully saves the town by convincing people to evacuate. The disaster still happens, but far fewer lives are lost. Years later, Taki and Mitsuha are living separate lives in Tokyo. They've both grown up. They've both moved on, but there's still something missing. They feel it every day, like searching for someone they can't remember. Then one day, their paths cross. They pass each other on parallel trains. Something clicks. They both turn, sensing something familiar. They get off at the next stop, searching. Finally, they meet on a staircase. They hesitate. Strangers, yet not. And then Taki asks, "Have we met before?" Mitsuha responds, "I thought the same thing." Then, almost in unison, they ask, "What's your name?" And the film ends there, with hope, connection, and the promise that fate has finally brought them together. Your Name isn't just a love story. It's about longing, memory, and the invisible threads that connect us, even across time. It reminds us that even if we forget someone, the feeling they left behind never truly disappears. And sometimes, fate gives you a second chance.